Okay. So uh, let us continue with the thing. So let me create a new branch, and then today's topic will be component and directives. Okay. Okay. So and let me serve the application. How do I serve it? Ng serve.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So and my application, I'll be able to see it here. Everything is fine, and we have done all these things using event binding, data binding, all those things we have done. Okay. Now the thing is, yesterday we were saying something like the image was not working, right? So that
Yeah.
problem was because of a small mistake that I was doing. What I was doing is just see this here. When I am putting the src, I'm getting the images, but when I'm putting width, so I cannot put width directly because width is not
Hello.
a property. uh,
Hello. Just a minute.
okay, so what I was saying is here the width property was not working because if I write like this width is not a property of the image element. So what I need to do, if I want to apply the width, I have to go with the width like this. Okay. Or else, so either I apply something like this, style dot width equal to, what is that, image width. If I apply like this, it will be working totally fine. Where is it? We can see the width has been reduced, the second image. And also another way what we can do is we can use the attribute dot width. This will also work fine. Img width. This way we can get it. Okay. Then let's say height also I can get it like this. Attribute dot height is image height. This way I'll get different image. Okay. So that's how we should apply height width if we want. If we want to do this property binding kind of thing. Okay. Then what is the next thing? So now we can move on to new things. Now let us first understand what a component is. Okay. So here on the first class, as I told you, we have a page. Let's say I have this page, Kukatpally website. Okay. On this page, what is there? We have, let me inspect this and show you what is happening here. Here, app root is there. That is the main app. Then app header. This app header is the nav bar at the top. Okay. So what we will be doing is in our projects or applications, we have to uh, break down our pages, break down our what it is called, yeah, that we should not have only app component and work on it. What we'll be doing is we have to break down our web page into different components. So now we have here the header component. This one is the header component, it is highlighted. In the same way, after the header component, there will be some more components, like I have named this as tutorial component, this whole page. So that's why header component is coming as app hyphen header. So its name is app header. Then app tutorial is there. What is there in app tutorial? This is the tutorial component. The whole page is tutorial component. So inside tutorial component, again I have to break down the left hand side and right hand side. What is there? Let us see. Inside tutorial component, again we have app nav bar. What is it? So that is a navbar for mobile view. So if I, when I reduce my size, I'll get this navbar. So this is the app navbar. Where is it? This is the app navbar. Here we can see that is the app navbar. Okay. So like that, I have this app navbar which is not visible in the web view. So let us get back to the web view. What else we are getting? Again, we have another div. Inside that, I have a app side panel component. This is the side panel component. So this way we are breaking the whole page into different parts. The left hand side I have named it as app side panel. Then what about the right hand side? Somewhere the right hand side will be there. So let us close the app side panel. I think inside the app side panel only I have included the app topic. The left right hand side is the app topic. This is the app topics. This is the a topic component, right hand side. This way we are breaking down the whole page into different uh, components. Okay, this is how we have to do it. So now let's say I want to create a component. How do I do that? So this is the app component. Here what I'm doing, I am directly writing everything, right? So these things are working totally fine. Now let me remove all these things and I will get nothing here, right? Okay, fine. So let me do one thing. How do I create a new component and load it in the browser? So whatever I want to load, I have to load in the app component only. Okay, in the app component I have to load the component. So let me first create a component. How do I create a component? So from today onwards we will not do everything in the app component. We'll create a component. That component will load in app component, then we will use it. Okay, because by default the app component will always be visible. Why it will be visible? Because in the index.html it is already mentioned app-root. This Angular has already written this line to load the app component by default. App root means app component. How do I know app root means app component? Who will tell us? For that we have to go to the app.component.ts. Here we can see a selector property is there inside the add the rate component director directive sorry, this is known as the decorator, add the rate component decorator, and add the rate component decorator is having some metadata object. This is known as metadata object. In this metadata object, what is there? We have a selector property. Selector property is written as app root. Okay, so that means we, if I want to load this app component anywhere, I have to use app root like this as an element, starting tag and closing tag. Okay, this way. So in the same way, when I create a new component, that component I want to load where? I want to load it in the app component. So I have to write the whole selector here. So I don't know the selector now, because to know the selector I have to go to the that components component.ts file. Okay, so let me first create a component. So how do I do that? So let us go to, I have to create all components inside the app folder only. Okay, so I will not create it inside src or something. I'll create it in the app component. So how do I go to that app component? So now I am on the data binding level, right? So I'll go to cd src, then cd app. I am now inside the app component, app folder, actually not component, app folder. Now here I will create a component ng generate, ng generate, ng generate component, and then I have to write the component name. This part is fixed, ng generate component is fixed. Now I have to name a component. So what I want, a home component. Okay, I am just writing home and press enter. it will create a component. But let us see what kind of component. We can see a home folder here. Okay, I want to check this. Okay, fine, everything is fine now. So what is happening here? It has created a component. Inside app component, a folder has come, home. Inside this home, I have again home.component.css. Just like app.component, I am having home.component.css, home.component.html, home.component.spec.th, and home.component.ts. Now inside the home.component.html, some default text is there. Paragraph home works. Okay. Now let us try to load this home component inside app component. How do I do that? We need to know the selector. So what is the selector of home component? Where do I get the selector of home component? I have to go to home component.ts. Here I can see this is the selector, app home, right? So what I will do is I will go to app component. I will write the element. So app home, and we have the starting tag, ending tag. Okay, I save this. Now by default app component will be loaded. App component will automatically load the home component as well. So let us see. Go to the browser, and what happened? Okay, why it is not coming? Because I had stopped the ngserve while creating the component. So I have to run the ngserve once again. ngserve. Okay, it is done. Let us go to the browser now. So I can see home works. The text is coming. This text is coming from the home component, not from the app component. Inside the app component, home component is loaded, and home component has this text. Okay, fine. Now let us go to the code. Now let me change this text. So instead of this home works, let me write this is the home component, or else let me write only home component. Okay, and let me have the app component. Inside the app component, let me not directly load the app home. Let me load something like first one h1. In the h1 I will write this is app component. Actually this is app component, right? Inside the app component I am loading home component. Okay, so I'll write like this. So what I can see, if I save these files and go to the browser, this is the app component. Inside app component, home component. Let me put a border on both the components to make it more clear. So what do I do? So those, if I want to, what it is called, put the border, I cannot put the border directly from here. Why? Because to apply border on the home component, if I want to write styles in the CSS, I have to write what is there. But if I put it on H1, it will apply the border on H1. So I will write it in a global styles. What is the global style? Styles.css. So here I will write app home, sorry, app home. Here I am having border 5px solid red and app, sorry, this is app root and app home. Both the components I am applying different border. 5px solid blue. Okay, now just save this and go to the browser. What happened? The borders are coming, but why they are like this? Okay, no worries, no worries. I'll do one thing. There is some problem with this new Angular. So what I'll do is, instead I'll create a div here. Okay, inside the home component, let me create a div. Inside the div, let me put this h1, and this div I'll put a class equal to, this is home, and in the app component I'll just create another div class equal to app, and put these things there. Now I can write the styles for this in the CSS file. So app.component.html is having a div called div with class app. So on this I can apply app.component.css. I'll go to app.component.css dot app border 5px solid red. Okay, fine. Now when I go to home component, I even created a class here, so I'll put it here dot home dot home border 5px solid blue over. Okay, now I can see clearly what is happening here. The app component is loading the home component inside it. Why? Because I have written it like this. Okay, we are trying to load the home component inside the app component. That's why app component is having a red border showing that that is the whole app component. Inside the app component, I'm loading one home component. So from here we are clear that home component is inside the app component. Fine, that is fine. This is how we will create the components. Now if you want a navbar component, you create a navbar component, whatever you want. Okay, so we will do all those things. Multi-component structure will do slowly, not today, but today I want to show some extra things. Now in this component, whatever home component I have created, it is having exact same structure like app component. Okay, now whenever we say the component file means the TypeScript file. In our app component we have written so many things, right? So let us not go to this file, it is more confusing. Let us go to the home component, which is now plain. We have not written anything. What is there by default in this component? We have an import statement, which was there also in the app.component.ts import statement. What does it import? It is importing import component from @angular slash core. Okay, we have a angular core module. It is a package in the node modules folder from where we are importing a component interface. We are importing a component interface. That component interface is helping us to use it as a decorator here. If I don't import this, I cannot use the decorator. It will throw an error. Okay, so we are importing this interface to use it as a decorator. Now this decorator is having some data inside it. It is having actually one object. Okay, this object is giving us some properties. This whole object is known as component metadata. Okay, this whole thing is known as component metadata. This whole object, whatever we are passing in the component decorator. Now this metadata object, what does it contain? Now we are having only three, but we can have a lot of other uh, properties here. Okay, so let us now go with only these three, whatever is there in these three. What is the meaning of these things? Selector means how do we select the element, how do we show it, how do we show the component in the browser, how do we apply styles. This is how we will use. Template URL means it is linked to HTML page, which is home.component.html, and it is also having a style page, which is home.component.css. So we are linking all the files. Okay, HTML and CSS files. So we are linking to this TypeScript file using the component metadata. If we don't pass this, those styles or template will not be applied. Okay, then we have this class, component class. Here is the main thing. This is the main field we will be where we will be playing. Okay, this is the main playing field. Here what we need to do, here we will all create the what it is called properties, methods, and all those things. We have already done all these things yesterday, right? But I'm just telling you what we will do here. So this class home component, we are giving a name. We can write anything here. Okay, but when we generated the component, it was generated as a home component. When I wrote there home, I don't write ng generate component home component. What did I write? I wrote, you can see here, ng generate component home. I didn't write home component. I write only home. Automatically the name of the class will become home component. If I write there ng generate component Hyderabad, this will become Hyderabad component. Export class Hyderabad component. Okay, that is how it works. Okay, then now we will start using the class component. Okay, so let us now, yesterday we took some data. Like what kind of data we took? We took some strings, we took some numbers, we took some method, and then we played with all those things. Like we applied this URL onto the image, we applied height width to the image, we did some interpolation to concatenate these things, isn't it? What we did yesterday, let us see. We did some, okay, I had removed that code. So what we were doing, if I put these two things in curly braces, double curly brace, that is known as interpolation, this gets concatenated. So like that I was doing it, I was using a plus operator to concatenate. Okay, and we even saw the property binding using square bracket and event binding using the parenthesis, writing by writing click. Okay, and this increment was working. Okay, let us now today do something different. So in the home component is already loading here, so let us try to do something. Today we will see a small topic called directive. Okay, again, in directive there are different kinds of directive in Angular. So what are directives? Directives will help us to change our uh, components in a dynamic way. Now what will happen? So here we will be going for two directives today. There are actually the two categories of directives: structural directive and attribute directive, but we'll not go that today. We will first clear the basic things what are needed very mandatorily. Then when we will be doing working on projects or working on some advanced application, then we will learn all those things. Okay, maybe after 1 2 weeks. Okay, now what is there? Now there are two things called ngIf and ngFor. Let us start with ngIf. Okay, what they will do? So these directives I don't need to create. Okay, these are known as built-in directives. These are already present in Angular. Okay, now let us see what is the purpose of these things. This ngIf will be helping us to show or hide some element. It will help us to show or hide some element. Let's say I have one. Uh, Now what I am able to see here, I am seeing home component. Okay, let me write here another line, that is h2, which is, let's say, edu poly. Okay, and I want to hide this edu poly if some condition is not satisfied. Okay, how do I do that? So for that we need a condition where that condition will be, isn't it? So what I will do, so I will go to the TypeScript file of the home component. I'll create some property which will hold the condition or something. Okay, let us write something like, let me have a condition. What condition I can have? condition condition is equal to 2 less than 3. Okay, condition is equal to 2 less than 3. 2 less than 3 is a condition, right? Is it true or false? We get something out of it, right? 2 less than 3 is true. Okay, now what is the uh, data type of this thing? What is it returning? 2 less than 3 is giving us true or false. That means it is a boolean value. So I should mention here condition is of type boolean, so that it is type safe. Okay, now I have to use this condition there. So how do I use it? So if this condition is true, only then this edupoly h2 should be displayed. Okay, if the condition is false, then that h2 will not be displayed. Who will help us in doing this? The ngIf directive. ngIf is a directive which is used to show or hide an element. ngIf is a structural directive that conditionally includes a template based on the value of an expression. What is the expression here? This is the expression. 2 less than 3 is our expression. When the value of the expression is false, Angular removes an element and its descendant from the DOM. Okay, like that. So we will now use it in this syntax. Okay, so now what is the name of the expression? The name I have given as condition. So let me use it. In the h2 I will write star small n small g capital I f. Okay, ng if I capital equal to the name of the expression. What is the name of the expression? Condition. So I put this condition here like this. What will happen? Save it, go to the browser. I can see what happened. Doesn't exist on type home component. Let us see, where did I do? Okay, I didn't save the file. Okay, now I can see everything is fine. Anything error is there? No error. What happened? Page reload sent to client. Okay, I can see. So now everything is fine. Edupoly is visible. Why it is visible? Because I have used a condition which is true. 2 less than 3 is true. But if I write 2 less than 1, that condition is false. So what will happen? It will hide this edupoly h2 edupoly. It will only show the h1 home component. We can see here the h2 edupoly is hidden. The moment I make this again true, 2 less than 9, again it will become visible. Again if I write 2 less than 0, again it will be hidden. So this way we can show and hide an element according to some condition. Okay, then then what else? What else this ngIf can use? It is now using a condition, but is it that always we have to use a condition? What is the definition telling us? The definition telling us that it will conditionally includes a template based on the value of an expression. That means it can be any expression. It is not like it will always be a condition or something. Okay, yes, it must. We normally use a boolean value only. Okay, but we can try to experiment and see what other things it can deal with. Okay, now what we will see is we normally 90% of the time we go with boolean values only. Okay, now let me use some other things, like let me remove this boolean typecasting, type annotation, condition equal to hello. What will happen if I use this condition directly in the home component? So this condition will be taken as a, it will be converted to boolean and then checked here. So home is a string, so string will always be true the value, so we will always get it. If it is an empty string is not giving us anything. Empty string is treated as a false value. Then what about numbers? 25 is a true the value, so I am able to see the element. If I put a 0, I am not able to see the element. Okay, minus 45 is also a true the value, so I am getting the element. This way numbers strings will give us true the value, empty string 0 will give us false value. Then what else? If I have an empty array like this will also be considered as a true the value. Okay, even if it is empty array. So what I should use? If I use empty array dot length, what will happen here? Empty array dot length means length is 0, so this will be taken as false value. Okay, empty array dot length is 0 plus 1, that means 0 plus 1 is 1, it will be taken as true the value, like that. So this condition, whatever is the value, whatever is the expression, that will be first converted to boolean, then it will be checked. Okay, let's say I don't have a condition here. Let me use something directly there. Instead of condition, can I write what it is called, something like 2 less than 3? Will it work? Let us see. It is 2 less than 3 is giving us okay. Then 2 less than 0. Will it work? Yes. So these things also can be used directly here. 2 less than 0 is false. So it is not showing us the element, Addagutta element. 2 less than 9 is giving us again true value. Okay. Then ngIf equal to true. What is this doing? Is it taking it as Boolean value or string value? Let us check. True is giving us output. So let me write here false. Yes, this is also taken as a Boolean value. Okay, true, false. If I have a string, in the string, I will write hello. Double quotes inside that single quote. Save it, go to the browser. It is working. When I remove the hello, that is, it is an empty string inside. You can see empty string is there. What will happen? It will take it as false value. Okay. So this way we can use our ngIf. So mostly what we do is we use it like this. We use a property here which is actually giving us some expression here. Okay, this is how we use it. Okay, then what else? Now we can, now we are able to see this. So let me do one thing. Let me do a small what it is called, small task where I will use a button to change the value of a variable to true false, and I will see how the show and hide is working. So in the home component, what I will do is, in the home component, before the Addagutta, I will have one button, button button. In that button, I'll write toggle, toggle, okay, just toggle, and then I'll have one, I'll bind some method to this button for clicking. Click is equal to, I'll write a toggle function. Now this toggle function I will create here. This condition is not needed now. I'll not use this condition anymore, and I'll use a separate variable. Okay, but before that, what I just now created is a toggle. I need a toggle method. So I'll create a toggle method. What this toggle method will do? It has to make some property, make a value true false. So for that we need a property first, we need a value first. So let me take a value. Let's say uh what it is called, hmm, let's say is door closed. It is asking is door closed. It is a boolean value. By default it is false. Is door closed? When I click on the toggle, it will make it to true. So is toggle, what it will do, is door closed is equal to, I'll this dot is door closed is equal to, I'll put a not here. What is the meaning of not? This dot is door closed. So it will negate the value. If it is true, it will make it false. If it is false, it will make it true. What it will make it true? This variable, this property, not variable. This property, now it is false. The first time I click on the button, it will make it true. Second time, it will make it false. So this value will be changing from true to false, true to false. So this value I will use in my h2 to show and hide. Okay, and what I can do, this is door close, I will put in a span so that you can see the value here. What I will do is door closed. So what I'm using here, I'm using a interpolation. Okay, so let me save all these things and see what this looks like. So this is how it looks like. We have a home component h1 that I can see here, home component h1. Then I have a button and a span, right? So in the button, what is there? Toggle is written and one click event binding is happening with toggle method. So that I can see here. And a span is there, which is having interpolation, which is just showing the value of each door close. Each door close, initially I have set it at false. So it is showing me false in the output. Okay. Then I have an h2 edu poly which is not visible here. Why? Because it is using ngIf to show and hide, and it depends on the each door close property. Each door close property is default by default false. That's why this whole edupoly is hidden. Now let us click it and make it true. Let us see what happens. When I click the button, two things should happen. When I click the button, this each door closed will become true, and if it becomes true, then each door closed here in the span, here also it should change. So this false value will become true, and once it becomes true, it will show this h2 edupoly. Okay, let us now test these things. So I'll click on the toggle now. I click on this toggle, the value has become true and edupoly is shown. Why edupoly is shown? Because the value, the edupoly h2 is dependent on the each door close property. Now I'll click on the toggle again. This true text will become false and edupoly will be hidden. Let us see. See, it has become false and the text is hidden. So this way the toggle button is working. True, false, true, false. It is showing, hiding, showing, hiding. Okay. This is how the ngIf works. Okay. Then so mostly this is how it will be used. Okay. Not with a button, but according to some condition. Like we have a condition here, according to the condition, something will be shown, something will be hidden, or even we can change the display. Not only show and hide, we are also uh, changing it and showing it here, right? Okay. So whenever show hide concept is coming, you have to first think about ngIf. If something is hidden, something is shown, means it is always ngIf who is responsible for all those things. Okay. then Then we have our second directive, that is known as ngFor. That is also an inbuilt directive, which works similarly like a for loop, but it will generate elements. Okay, it will generate elements. We in DOM we have used for each and created all those things. So many things we have done. So that thing will be done by ngFor here. So for that we need an array. Okay, actually not an array, it may be a iterable. So a lot of iterables are there. We have enum, this, that, many things, but mostly we'll be working with arrays. Okay, because in real time JSON data will be coming in the form of array. So those arrays, on those arrays I can apply ngFor. So let me take a small array first. Let me not go to complex JSON arrays. Let me take a array, take an array of numbers. So numbers is of type, what do I write? Number array equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. If I put a string here, it is giving me error. Why? Because I have already told that it will be a number array. Then I should not put a string here. Okay, fine. Now this array, so let me take different numbers. Let me not take these numbers. 11 comma 53 comma 12, then 62 comma 70. Okay, fine. This is a numbers array. Now I want to loop this array and create a list of numbers, list item. I want to create list item in the home component, but so where is it? After the h2, let me have a ul. Inside the ul I'll be having li, right? Now how many allies I want to write, I don't know, because I may not have seen the array. So array is having 5 elements, 5 numbers. So I will create 5 li. If the array is having 100, I have to create 100 li. So I cannot manually create all these allies. So what I will do, instead I'll use the ngFor. Now ngFor where I should apply, I should not apply the ngFor on ul, otherwise it will create so many uls. How many elements are there? 5 elements, right? 1 2 3 4 5, so it will create 5 ul. I should apply it on the li. So what I will write, star ng small f capital ng for equal to, now I have to mention the array here. So I will not directly write the numbers, we have to write here, let n of numbers. Okay, this numbers means that array, and this variable is your wish. You can write here a, you can write here s, you can write here g, whatever you write. Okay, but what I prefer is, what I will suggest is, always go with something like related to this array name. What is the name of the array? It is numbers. So I will write here number. If it is students, I will write here student. Let student of students, like that. Okay, now this is created. So if I save this and go to the browser, if I save this and go to the browser, I can see all the LIs are created, 5 LIs are created, but the value is not coming. So this value I have to use here. Here I have to use interpolation. Whatever name I have given here, number, I have to write here that value only. Okay, if I write here n, it will not work. It is saying property n doesn't exist on type home component. Okay, so I have given a name called number, so I have to write here. If I write here x, I have to write here also x. So now I can see number means each element of the array. Okay, save it, go to the browser. Now I can see the numbers. Okay, this is how you can use it. Let us now take another array of strings. So let's say students is of type string array, and equal to, let's say, Ram, Hari, then some Sadik, then Reshma, then let me put some random edupoly. Okay, these are all, let's say, students. Will I use it? Raju. Okay, fine. So these are all students. Now what I want to do is, I want to apply ngFor on this and display another list. So now let me go with, I have already gone with ul. Let me go with ol, ordered list, li. In this li, I will use star ngFor equal to, what is the name of the array just now I created? Students. So what I will do, let student of students. You can write anything here. Okay, if you write here s, it will also work. So what do I write here? I'll write here s, and I can see the, what it is saying. Okay, not saved. So I can see the student names here: Ram, Hari, Sadik, Reshma, Raju. Okay, then what can we do? So this is about the ngFor when we use it on small arrays like this. Okay, then we may also have complex arrays like array of objects. What do we do there when we have a complex array of object? So let me create an array of objects. So let me take directly some data from somewhere. Let me go to fake API products. I'll get some data.